the biggest problem with Nico Harrison and what you still don't get. It's not that you traded Luka. It's that what you got in return for him is not indicative of any other previous trades with superstars that aren't as good. That is what makes this confusing, and that is what makes you wrong, and that is what makes you should have some regrets. When they traded James Harden, they got 4 first-round picks. When they traded Paul George, they got SGA and 5 first-round picks. When they traded Anthony Davis, they got Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks. Russell Westbrook was for Chris Paul and 4 potential first-round picks. Mikal Bridges was 5 first-round picks, and you have a 25-year-old All-NBA, just made the final Luka Doncic, and because you say you can't shop him, which makes no sense, all you got back was an injury-prone center, Max Christie, and a first-round pick. That is the confusing part, and that is going to be the bad part of your legacy, whether you say defense wins championships or whatever other shit you want to try to stumble out of your mouth. The fact is you did not get the value back that you should have gotten back if you compare it to all the other superstars of recent time that have been traded and how much more they got for them. That is the problem. That is why you screwed up, and that is why you need to stop this whole, no, I did a great move and we'll see later and everything else. No, cut it out. You screwed up, and either own up to it or don't even do secret press conferences. Just go in the back of the room and shut up and wait till you get fired, which is probably happening whether you're a nice guy or not. Nico Harrison said he's got no regrets.
You have no regrets? Like not even a single letter?
Nothing about trading Luka was a bad idea. He loves it. He thinks he's great. He thinks the team's great, even though they're about to, be kicked out of the playoffs.
I love him. I think he's great. I think he's a real winner.
I mean, unbelievable. That is some balls after everything that has happened to double down like he just did. I'll tell you what happened. So, again, Dallas is, even if they win tonight, is going to be, just cannon fodder for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who's 35-6 at home. They'll get rid of them quickly. And meanwhile, the Lakers, where he traded Luka to as a number 3 seed, him and LeBron seem happy as clams. But Mavs, general manager, at least for now, Nico Harrison, said that he has no regrets over the Luka Doncic trade. Just this last Tuesday, he held a press conference, which was very under the table, kind of last minute. It was the first time he had spoken since the trade, but he wouldn't speak publicly. So instead, he did this weird behind-the-scene thing where he only asked like certain guys from Dallas-based media. They said it was scheduled less than 24 hours, and they also said, dude, you are not allowed to bring in any sort of recording device to record what he's saying. So yeah. Clearly, he's got no regrets. Clearly, he's not worried about the opinion.
You have no regrets? Like not even a single letter?
He just held a less than 24-hour, update for a press conference where he said no phones, no recording is allowed on it. But in that time, he did double down. He said there's no regrets on the trade. He said part of my job is, quote, to do the best thing for the Mavericks, not only today, but also in the future. And some of the decisions I'm going to make are going to be unpopular. Yeah, that's my job, and I have to stand by it. But our philosophy, like I said, going forward, is that defense wins championships, and we're built on defense. Yes, I agree that Luka could struggle sometimes defensively, but, to kind of elaborate on that, and this is probably why he didn't allow recording devices or, only people that he liked in there, is that, dude, it didn't help you like damn near a week ago when Luka just came back. You remember that? Well, it really wasn't that long ago. Luka showed up to Dallas. Y'all had to play him, a welcome back Luka video. He was so emotional he started crying. Then he dropped 45 points on you in a 112-97 win with Anthony Davis back out there. Yes, I know Kyrie wasn't there, but I mean, obviously the great defense of Anthony Davis didn't do jack shit. Luka had 45 points, went 16 of 28, and y'all look completely helpless out there. So that's an odd quote to keep firing back on. The bigger question for me and Dallas Mavericks fans, this is why they're rioting in ways I'll explain more here in just a second, is really, though, the idea that all you got back for Luka. That continues to be my question. Everything else I can understand, but how you screwed this up so bad?
How did you ever screw up so bad?
Is what I would love to know is that, dude, how did you trade Luka and only work with the Lakers and only end up with Anthony Davis, Christie, and a first-round pick? He said the reason he did that in this secret press conference is that you can't shop your best player. Yes, you can. What are you talking about? I don't even know what that means. Why? You can't shop your best player? They do it all the time. Players shop themselves all the time. But he says you can't shop your best player. It's not responsible because a trade might not work, and then you have to ultimately play under the scrutiny of being shopped. Then you also have a player who this summer had a decision to make, a big decision in Luka, where they wanted to sign the big supermax or not. And for anybody to trade a player that only has 1 year left, you're not going to get maximum value. As in the maximum value you got of one first-round pick, an injury-prone Anthony Davis who got injured the first day, and Max Christie? Like, what the... Maybe, take another month to work on your spiel here there, Nico, because this is a lot of dumb things you're saying out loud, and I can see why fans, if you're a Mavericks fan, are so pissed off. As the latest report said, they are projected to lose millions of dollars just this year, just this season already. Between the Fire Nico signs, they said there's dwindling crowds right now. There's dwindling crowds everywhere. No one will buy the merchandise. The sponsors are severing ties left and right, and that they look to lose like maybe 9 figures in revenue in the next several years. And still has the nerve to say, nope, no regrets. Think it was a great idea.
You have no regrets? Like not even a single letter?
Didn't need to shop him. That would have been too much stress on him and me. We got a good deal. Defense wins championship, even though he came back and kicked our ass and dropped 45 on us and kind of did the whole we'll see thing for going forward in the future. I don't know, Nico. I mean, even in this protected little press conference, somehow you still came out looking like a horse's ass. And the whole, you can't shop him, I don't quite understand. Adam Silver, also, I want to throw this in real quick. This is an interesting, fun note. Went on Pat McAfee the other day, Commissioner Adam Silver, and he spoke on this. I thought there were 2 interesting parts. One, he said it's not a conspiracy, Pat did ask him about it, but it still seems like he's trying to remind you, it's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. They're not trying to get kicked out of Vegas, and that they're going to stay in Dallas. Hit this for me here, Mateo. This is, again, Adam Silver talking about this whole debacle and the Luka trade.
In terms of the trade itself, look, it's obvious time will tell. The only place where I feel defensive on behalf of the Dallas Mavericks and new ownership there is there were some suggestions early on that the trade wasn't done for basketball reasons, that somehow new owner didn't want to pay a maximum salary or was focused on building a real estate development or something else. The only thing I can say, and I feel very confident in this, knowing Patrick Dumont, who's the governor of the team, and the people involved, they believed that they were making the best trade on behalf of the Dallas Mavericks. Whether that turns out to be true, again, only time will tell. I've known Nico for a long time, Nico Harrison. He was a long-time executive at Nike before he was at Dallas Mavericks. Again, whether or not he made the right trade, he's a really decent person. I know he's trying to do the best he can to run that franchise. It's been a rough time since they made the trade. There's no question about it. Combination of, Anthony Davis, my God, going down in the very first game. He was playing for the Mavericks. Kyrie then with the season-ending injury. I'm proud of that team. Obviously, they're still playing hard. They still have a chance to play into the playoffs tomorrow night. So I get the fans' passion. I understand, again, why Dallas Mavericks fans are so upset. But, we'll see when they play the games how this works out. So just to go back to what Pat said a minute ago, and I was the one who raised it, so I'll just finish the thought on Dallas. They're not going anywhere. There's no thought of that team going anywhere. It's true that the group that bought the team is out of Las Vegas, but they couldn't be clear, and I just want to make sure that, there's no doubt people have been talking about it, and it'll turn out over time to be a good or bad trade, but there were no ulterior motives there. This team is staying in Dallas. In fact, they're looking at building a new arena in Dallas, so that's that.
God, he seems like a guy stuttering and stumbling a little bit because he's trying to cover up a lot. But he did say they're not going anywhere. And I don't really know how Nico being a nice guy or I don't really know what that is. Well, let my kid run it then if we're just going to let idiots run the asylum there. And don't forget he mentioned the Nike thing. Nico also was the guy who screwed up the Steph Nike sponsorship. Go Google that story and find out all about it. But, in the end, the no regrets and everything else and defense wins championship and you can't shop your player, he still doesn't seem to get it. So even after he said all this in this press conference, the thing I have the biggest problem with him, and I think that Dallas has, the biggest problem with Nico Harrison and what you still don't get. Hit the picture here for me, Mateo. It's not that you traded Luca. It's that what you got in return for him is not indicative of any other previous trades with superstars that aren't as good. That is what makes this confusing, and that is what makes you wrong, and that is what makes you should have some regrets. Again, when they traded James Harden, they got 4 first-round picks. When they traded Paul George, they got SGA and 5 first-round picks. When they traded Anthony Davis, they got Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks. Russell Westbrook was for Chris Paul and 4 potential first-round picks. Mikal Bridges was 5 first-round picks, and you have a 25-year-old All NBA just made the final Luka Doncic, and because you say you can't shop him, which makes no sense, all you got back was an injury-prone center, Max Christie, and a first-round pick. That is the confusing part, and that is going to be the bad part of your legacy, whether you say defense wins championships or whatever other shit you want to try to stumble out of your mouth. The fact is you did not get the value back that you should have gotten back if you compare it to all the other superstars of recent time that have been traded and how much more they got for them. That is the problem. That is why you screwed up, and that is why you need to stop this whole, no, I did a great move and we'll see later and everything else. No.
Cut the shit.
Cut it out. You screwed up, and either own up to it or don't even do secret press conferences. Just go in the back of the room and shut up and wait till you get fired, which is probably happening whether you're a nice guy or not.